Ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court has already given Trump major victories when it comes to corruption, overturning corruption convictions, because Democrats made absurd leaps of logic. Number one, the special counsel is going to the Supreme Court because everybody knows Nixon proved that a president is not above the law. That's why he resigned. Okay? He did commit crimes by paying or helping orchestrate a burglary. Okay? And then he paid people to keep quiet. And so they did conspire to commit a crime. We already know that from Watergate. By the way, it wasn't the reporters that broke this big story. It was an intelligence official with an interesting code name. Huh. So anyway, that's a whole other story. The point is, we already know this. The reason that Jack Smith is going to the Supreme Court is to try to add some legitimacy to a criminal case involving a criminal case involving a speech. He did not tell anyone, nor did he coordinate any criminal activity. He never told anyone, Trump, to commit a crime. The Supreme Court overturned a 2016 corruption conviction that could serve as the precedent for this conviction to be overturned. They will convict Trump, but the Supreme Court eventually has already, with the Virginia governor conviction, has already overturned that unanimously in 2016. It's a 6-3 conservative court. He'll be convicted in D.C., in New York, possibly in Fulton County. He'll have 3 convictions, and he'll still beat and defeat his opponent, Mashed Potato Brains, but I don't think it'll be Mashed Potato Brains, our president. I don't think it'll be the California governor. I think it will be Hillary Clinton, and Trump will defeat Clinton again, although she could possibly win. And I think the only thing Democrats have is Hillary Clinton. But the point is this: hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. The Supreme Court will not allow a conviction to stand with Trump. And what they'll tell Jack Smith is, of course, a president is not above the law, not immune from criminal acts. We already know this. If they commit a crime, they're not above the law. Okay, the issue is when it comes to immunity, you're talking about decisions like sending Americans to endless military conflict, like Bush. So he's immune from that type of foolish, counterproductive, insidious behavior. Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, sending Americans off to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. So a special counsel couldn't convict Bush or Cheney or Rumsfeld, or let's just say President Bush, because he was within his duties as president. He was immune from, even if you say, well, that was a crime, what he did was a criminal act, let's just say lying to the American people and fabricating evidence, or lying by omission, maybe not fabricating, but lying by omission, or using intelligence they knew to be false. Deception or lies by omission could be viewed as a crime. But because Bush was doing this as president, that's within his, presidential, foreign policy is what a president has the most leeway on. So hit subscribe to this channel right now. The Supreme Court will side with Trump and eventually say, if they haven't, they've already overturned corruption convictions and overturned convictions they did in New York recently regarding individuals associated with Andrew Cuomo. If there's a hint of politics, the Supreme Court will overturn any conviction. He'll get convicted. The convictions will be overturned. The Supreme Court, in the next couple of days, maybe tomorrow, will tell Jack Smith, of course, a president can be convicted. Then the media will run with it and say, oh my God, Trump's going to prison. because they'll lie by omission, because the Supreme Court also will then probably say something like, yes, but there has to be some kind of tangible crime, some kind of, intent to commit a crime, which he didn't have that day in January, that fateful day, which he, terrible day, but a lot of people entered those buildings or that building with the doors open. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now, and they walked peacefully. Remember when there was $1 to $2 billion in property damage, and it was fiery but mostly peaceful, and CNN was in front of a building set ablaze? And, it's mostly peaceful. Well, that could be used. That's one way to describe that terrible day. But see, they pick and choose. They lie by omission, and they filter everything through wonderful, morally superior liberal sensibilities. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. To read my writing on The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called public relations. It's very important that you remember this is all theater. This is public relations. People who have actually committed crimes, like Hunter and Joe and others. I mean, you're talking about Democrats who spend close to $1 million on certain services provided by individuals, let's just say, under the guise of, let's just say Hunter spent, $800,000 on special services. Go look up the special services, okay? And that was, Hunter Biden is being completely railroaded by the president, by his father's administration. This is not about Hunter Biden. This is about Joe. Hunter shouldn't even really have been indicted, to tell you the truth. I mean, he should probably have been a witness. Of course, the whole thing with that whole corrupt administration would just, Hunter should be a witness pertaining to the graft and bribery that Joe was a part of. It had nothing to do. Hunter committed crimes, but he did so with Joe being the reason people gave him money. It's called graft, bribery, pay-to-play schemes. They're not giving millions upon millions to Hunter so he can spend $800,000 on you-know-what because they like him or because he's so intelligent and has so much expertise. They're doing so because they want access to the U.S. government, they want beneficial treatment, and they want pay-to-play. It's called bribery. That's a graft scheme. That is not about what they're going after Hunter about. Anyway, the issue here is that Democrats are actually committing crimes. So you have millions upon millions going to Joe through intermediaries. Maybe not into Joe's bank account, but furthering his, let's put it this way, they've amassed, Joe Biden has $10 million. He didn't have that. Maybe more than that. He didn't have that. He had like a 200,000 or something like that. So how do you go from 200 to 300 to 400,000 to 10 to 12 million dollars? And then you're talking about billion-dollar deals. And so you don't do that from book deals and from speaking engagements. Have you heard Biden speak? The whole point, ladies and gentlemen, is that actual crimes are being committed. Like Hillary Clinton, she could become president. I think that I think Trump will defeat Clinton. I think Clinton will be there in 2024 in November with Trump. She's the only person Democrats have that has that apparatus already built in. And Democrats, even the furthest left, will vote Clinton, and they'll disown people if you don't vote, if they know anyone who doesn't vote Clinton. It's just they live in a giant echo chamber, complete groupthink. They'll just do what they're told in terms of voting for it. If you put like a house cat or a Fern or a Fetterman or Biden, but Clinton's better than Fetterman and Biden if you just look at them. But anyway, Clinton is the only person they have. Hillary is the only person they have who could even possibly defeat Trump. But this is about going after your political opponents because you are so corrupt and you've engaged in so many crimes. And what Jack Smith wants to do is that he wants the Supreme Court to say, well, of course you can convict a president. And then everyone will say, hey, he can get convicted. And then the reality, though, is they'll preface it by saying, if he actually committed a crime. Give me your thoughts, which he didn't. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you.